Oh, good morning. It's still barely just morning. I think it's 11:45. It's May 8th, a Thursday. Spring has sprung. We got violets growing in the grass. I let the flowers grow a little bit because that's the bees' first food. Morning, girls. I already brought them their food, but I saw their water dish was empty. Oh. So go ahead and fill that up for them. I know they're thirsty. The patch I did late winter worked out good. I did end up having to patch one more spot as the ground thawed out, but this weekend I changed out the bedding, the door, and the new deal is working good. See, that's how that edge turned out. So that keeps that real good and mouse proof. What are them worth these days? Oh yeah, I'll come and get them in a little bit. Alright. Oh, where's my bottle? So, just a couple updates for spring. If you didn't see that, I moved the greenhouse up to the front yard. So that's easier to maintain. Now we got to go through all the pots. It's time to get our seeds sown. I finished, I'll show you that in just a little bit, but that thing is ready to be used now. And I relocated our compost pile, so I'm just every time I clean out the coop, that's all gonna go in this pile, and then I'll turn it as it gets bigger. Keep that separate from all the other compost, because some of the stuff that ends up in there, the other compost pile was over that way, and I don't know. I got some deer heads and other stuff in there, and the wife really doesn't want to go in there. Her new solar clothes dryers. Excited to get that hung up. Came out a little bit earlier and tilted the panels up, so now we are nice and square with the sun. Oh, maybe, well, I set the angle a little bit far back, but in the next coming weeks it'll be perfect. It was quite a bit lower, so it was way off angle. It gave me another 150 watts just tipping it up. The solar water heater is in use currently. There's water circulating through it. Looks like a little bit of steam got trapped in there. I don't know if some snow snuck in. I did seal everything up pretty tight. There isn't any joints leaking. So I'm probably gonna pop the silicone out of that one hole and just let it breathe for the rest of the day. And while it's still warm, I'll close it back up, and hopefully that gets it nice and dry. But she's running. If you've never seen this, it's 450 foot of black hose, just with a 2.1 gallon per hour 12 volt DC pump in the basement that circulates the water to and from the 30 gallon water tank. And the pump in the summertime is run by this panel, so the pump doesn't start until the sun comes around and gets direct enough on the whole deal. I've got it placed in that corner on purpose because the sun comes from this way, so it doesn't hit the solar panel, the solar electric panel, until this is already warming up. So that'll start the pump, and then as the sun passes by and we get our shadow from our big ginormous Douglas fir here, that will immediately start to cool off the solar thermal panel, so the pump shuts down when it no longer has direct sunlight to feed the pump with electricity. So that's how that works. Yeah, it's time to replace this thing. Well, I think I'm gonna bring, there's nothing wrong with the T, but we end up with really a lot of laundry on just a small 3-line deal, and about 6 feet of it we can't use because it's too high for the wife, and she doesn't want to step into the mulch because we're usually bare feet. So this will work out better. It's shorter, and I can put 6 lines on it. 5 lines. 5 lines, yep. This will be better for at home. This tee will probably go up north, and we'll put that off of the cabin. We do like little to no laundry up there. But if we do laundry in the river or whatever, there's a place to hang it. Set my bottle down quick here. Greenhouse is now up here, and I ripped it apart. I got a new door. I was gonna go with a screen door. Availability of stuff was limited, so I ended up with this door. I had to make a couple of changes. I had to make the whole unit taller. So instead of adding onto the framing, I just raised the whole thing up. I lifted it up one side at a time and put 8-inch cement blocks underneath it, 8 by 8 by 16 blocks. Made a threshold so I won't get any mice in here. I still have to put, I got a full there, piece, one more full, and a piece there, and a piece there. So I'll cut those later today and get that all done. But here it is. And I had really big pieces of wood here. It was a chunk of 2 by 12. So the shelf was like coming all the way out to here. And I was very much sick of dinging my head on the shelves. So I just used a piece of the TNG, the same stuff that I did the outside with. And I don't know if you saw it before, but I just had some crummy plywood and some aluminum flashing for the face and the sides. So this is got a little bit more curb appeal. I'll do something nice on the corner here to close off them ends, and probably put some aluminum drip edge in there to pretty it all up. But the wife is happy with it. She's got a working door that doesn't have a very difficult, you know, and it closes, latches, and opens from the inside. I see my threshold is a little tight, but I think my block's settled, so I might have to shim this up like a 1/4 inch. I was gonna put a bead of mortar underneath it anyways, so I'll probably end up lifting it before I put in my last blocks, and I'll space them so I can put a mortar joint in them all, and then she'll be totally, well, pretty damn rock solid, and that'll keep any mice or anything I don't want in there out. I do still want to put, I've got metal vents. I want to put a vent around here, so, and another one up top, and the holes are big enough that, like, pollinators, I'll be able to get bees in there. So any, you know, flowers, anything that we keep throughout the summer into the fall, it'll be able to be pollinated. The garden we're doing a little bit different this year. We're gonna try out straw bale gardening. I apologize for the wind. I don't know how bad that is coming through on the video here. We got a strong north wind, so the turbine is just whipping. But yeah, we're gonna do straw bale gardening this year. Soil is just so inconsistent here. We can't count on rain. One year we get a drought. The next year we get way too much, and there's a lot of problems with pests. And it's a long story, but it's been difficult. We have really sandy soil here, and even though I add in compost and stuff every year, it's just been so inconsistent. You know, we'll have a fantastic harvest, like record size vegetables one year, and then like last year, for instance, we got totally skunked. The only thing I got was a couple bowls of beans and a few tomatoes, and I was really disappointed. So I'm gonna cover the whole damn thing with plastic, get some mulch over that to choke out all the weeds. That'll keep the grass from coming in. And we're gonna arrange the bales, well, this way. That's close to east to west. Due north is approximately that way, but I'm OCD and the square is this way, so we're gonna do it square with the fence walls, and it'll be oriented pretty darn close to, you know, east to west, so the sun can pass over it and everything will get nice even sun. And we're gonna mix up the boxes. Instead of tilling, I'm just gonna add soil. I'm gonna add compost on top of it. The raspberry patch, I'm gonna let do its thing. I'm not gonna mess with that at all. These are wild raspberries I pulled out of the woods. I pulled raspberries from a couple of the different groups. There's multiple clumps in the woods, and they're all a little bit different. So I threw them all in the middle, and they are already spreading, almost taking over the whole box. So, you know, and they're growing vigorously. So I'm just gonna leave this be. I'm gonna leave this take over this box completely. I wanna get some new shoring for my fence, and then we usually do the cucumbers there and the potatoes here. I'm gonna switch it out. We might do the cucumbers in there on a trellis and put them in a straw bale, and maybe we'll do carrots or something, some kind of, because we get like these wild carrots that want to grow in here. Oh, snapped. Tilling doesn't work real good because, like I said, we got sand. Well, here, I'll show you. I dug a hole. I dug a drainage ditch for the driveway, put some drain tile, and then buried it with a bunch of stone and bricks, and the drain tile comes to right there. And then I'm gonna fill this in with gravel, dig this down deeper, so you can see right where color changes. There's good black soil, but there's a lot of clay mixed into it. And it gets, when it dries out, it gets just like concrete hard. And then below that is just sand all the way down. Years and years and years, probably 100 or more years ago, this was riverbed here. I find all kinds of marine fossils and stuff in the yard. Pretty cool. But so our clay, our topsoil is, you know, old sediment that's just over compressed. So tilling is pretty ineffective. So we're just gonna keep adding soil, all vinegar solution, the weeds, pick what I can, chop it up, you know, with the hoe, and get the big stuff out of there. And in both of these beds, I'm just going to add. I'll put probably 2 more truckloads of compost. That comes from the Yardway site right down the road. It's free, and it's really good, really rich black soil. So we're going to try that this year, just adding instead of tilling. We'll just throw it right on top. And this has already got years of compost put into it, but I always till it into the old stuff. And same thing out here. Our productivity has gone just through the frickin' tank. We didn't get but a couple of cucumbers, just a few eaters, not enough to make any pickles. And that was disappointing. And lastly, it is about that time of year where we should have morels popping up. I might step on one. I've been checking every night. I haven't found them yet, but they grow kind of throughout this whole woods. I almost always find my first one around here, though. There's something they like over here. And usually when I find the first one over here, then I'll start scouring the woods. But yeah, so it's about that time. Time to start growing food again. And yeah, we let the dandelions grow a little bit crazy. I did get the lawn tractor fixed back up in time, so I can cut her whenever I want. But we let the flowers grow. We don't spray nothing. In 12 years we've been here, we've never sprayed anything in our yard, so we still get fireflies and all kinds of cool bugs. Monarchs come back every year. We let all the milkweed and stuff grow, and it's pretty darn natural here. And we have no direct neighbors. There might be some shit that gets sprayed from across the street that blows over, but there's pretty good barriers in all directions. The only heavy spray is across the street, and that's the cemetery. And I get it, you know, that's a lot of property to take care of, and they're doing it the easy way. So that's our only... If anything is getting sprayed, it's over there. I don't think the restaurant sprays. I'm pretty sure. And I know my neighbors that way don't spray. And if the neighbors that way spray, it's not making it through the woods. So it's not getting on our food. And that's cool. But yeah, we let all this stuff grow for a little bit before my first cut of the year. And that gives the bees a chance to start making food and do their thing. Maybe we'll start keeping bees again. Maybe not. The wife had a bad experience with that, so, and I'm not gonna do it. But I know they're in the area, so we give them a chance to do their thing. And when we get food growing, they come take good care of us. So anyways, that's it for now. Just a little spring update. I hope you all have a blessed day. Ooh, look at that. Is that a pelican or a crane? I don't know. He's pretty cool. Alright. God bless you.